Hello, good morning. Welcome. This is our 10 a.m. deep stretch class this week. My name is Melissa. I am HealthWare's registered dietitian and personal trainer. Welcome. I'm glad you're here live with me, or if you're watching a recorded version later on here or on YouTube, welcome. So this is a deep stretch class, not to be confused with a yoga class. We have Heidi who teaches our yoga classes. So this is just stretching. I am not a yoga instructor. We are focusing on improving our flexibility and stretching out our tight muscles. Some of our moves may be like yoga a bit, but again, I am not a yoga instructor. We are just stretching. I have a little bit of music we're gonna play in the background. Have a mat or something to put on the floor for later. We will be doing part of our stretches on the floor. And I guess if you do need a little extra support with your stretches, a strap or a towel might be helpful if you need extra help reaching your toes or whatever it may be. I think that is it. So I'm gonna get started. Just seeing who's here this morning. Welcome. All right. So we're going to start with a bit of a warm-up. So I'm going to get that music going. Alrighty. Ready. Okay. Let's tilt the head side to side, nice and slow. So we're starting with some dynamic stretching, meaning we're moving through the range of motion. We're not holding our stretches out very long. So we'll get into that later for the majority of the class, and that is called static stretching. Right now, the dynamic stretching, just getting our muscles ready, a little bit warmer, moving through the range of motion. Couple more. All right, let's look down and up, gentle with that neck. Very gentle here. Standing up tall though. Remember to keep that belly button pulled in towards the spine. Couple more, good. All right, let's reach the arm up and pull down. Other side. Big stretch up and pull it back down. Waking up the arms, moving through the shoulders, stretching out the side of the body a little bit as well. Now take the arm across, sweep it across. Good, nice and slow, fluid motion. No jerking movements. A few more here, stretching through that back. All right, to the rib cage. Let's release those ribs out and then pull back in, contract. So we release, open the chest, pull back in. Release the chest, then stretching through the back. One more. Good. Now let's pedal our feet. So we're going to pick up the heel. Pick up the heel. My ankle just popped. Gotta wake up those body parts. Good. Now take the feet further apart. I want you to isolate the knees. Pushing through that foot. Pushing the knee forward slightly. Hips and legs waking up. About ready for our deep stretching. All right, nice. Let's get into more of our static stretches now. We're gonna start out with one that's not for everybody, but it's good to do it. Get it out of the way early. You can hang on to a wall or a chair if you need to. we're going to be stretching our quad. So go ahead and pick up that foot. Go ahead and give it a nice strong hold on the tops of those toes. If you cannot reach your foot, this is where you could use a towel or a strap. Wrap it around the top of that foot and hold on to the ends of the towel or strap. Want to pull a little bit of pressure, feeling the stretch to the front of the leg. We don't want this to be painful in your joints, so not your knee joint or your wrist, your ankle. Our main goal is to stretch our quad, but not at the expense of our joints. Aim that knee down towards the floor, wherever your flexibility level is today. And we're going to give this one just a couple tries, so it's all right if you're not as flexible right now. Good, still standing tall, belly button pulled in. All right, we're gonna go ahead and switch to our other side. I'm gonna turn around. Grab that foot with your hand if you're able, or use your towel or your strap. Hanging on to something for support so that all of our focus can be on stretching the muscles, not on trying to just stand up. And still aiming that knee down towards the floor, pulling that foot towards your glute as close as you can get it to really feel the stretch in the front of the leg. Whatever level you are at today to feel that stretch, just hold it right there and breathe into that muscle. Good, keep holding. As I said, we're going to get another shot at these. Just working into it for now. We'll get a little deeper on our next round. Go ahead and release that out. We're going to try again with our other side. Here's your chance to get a little deeper this time. Hand, towel, or strap around the top of that foot, pulling the leg or the foot, the lower leg, pulling it in towards the body. A little bit deeper if you can, a little bit closer to that body with your foot if you're able. And again, if not, don't force it. Let's not injure our joints to try to stretch out our muscles. You're getting a little bonus arm work here, trying to hold your foot up. You're welcome. All right, go ahead and let that go. Let's switch to our other side. Last chance at this one. Get yourself situated. Hand, towel, or strap. Keeping that knee aimed down towards the floor. Don't let it float forward. Down towards the floor. Pulling that foot closer in towards the body as you're able. To where you feel that stretch through the entire front of that upper leg. That's the quad muscle, the quadriceps. And of course, belly button still pulled in tight, always. Even though we're stretching, we can still work on our posture, keeping that tummy tight. Good, go ahead and release that down gently. We made it through that. Feet apart. We're gonna work on our inside thighs a little bit. Go ahead and lunge it over to one side. Knees and toes all pointed forward. Try to keep this knee behind your toes. And we're just pressing our weight down onto that quad. You'll feel the stretch through that straight leg, that inside thigh. It feels awfully tight today. Keeping that back straight. Don't let the back arch or round too far down right here. We're trying to keep it straight, keep it neutral. Core is still tight, pulling that belly button in. Pressing your weight into that quad. And we're gonna get 2 chances at this one too, so don't worry if you're a little tight right now. All right, From here, go ahead and pick it up, and we're gonna shift our weight over to the other side, keeping the knees and the toes pointed forward, pressing your weight onto that quad, using your arms to support yourself. And again, stretching out now the opposite leg through the inside thigh. Keeping that leg extended, bottom is pushing back, and spine is straight, belly button pulled in. It almost takes a little bit of a little strength training here to keep yourselves in some of these stretches. I know, it's good for us. All right, we're gonna get a second chance with these stretches. Go ahead and bring that body up, and let's go back to our first side. Start here with your weight on your hands. If you want a little deeper stretch, you can come all the way down to the floor with those hands. Feeling that stretch deepen through the inner thigh. Your choice, you can come down to the floor with me, or you can stay with your hands on the quad. Wherever you need to feel that stretch today, you stay there, or challenge yourself if you're feeling up for it. All right, go ahead and walk your hands back up to your quad if you're on the floor, and let's shift our weight to that other side. Starting here, hands on the quad. Stay here if you need to, or if you want a little deeper, come on down with me. Hands to the floor. Stretching through that inside thigh. Careful with your joints though, of course. No joint pain. If you're feeling joint pain, back off a little bit. Take it a little bit gentler into that stretch. Good, go ahead, hands up to the thighs and bring it all the way back to center. We're going to now rotate our body, keep those feet apart. Hip flexor stretch. So back to the front side of that leg. Big lunge step, and we're gonna bend that front foot, keeping that pelvis tucked under slightly, and we're pressing forward. You wanna keep that pelvis rocked under slightly so you can really get the stretch through the front. So this leg, the one that's extended back, that's where you should feel the stretch through the hip flexor. Doing a lot of sitting can make this tight, so we're doing our best to stretch it out now. Trying to keep your hips square forward. Don't let them open up. We want to keep them straight. This is where we'll feel the stretch. Good. And from here, take that front arm, reach it overhead, a little bit deeper through the hip flexor. Plus it just looks very graceful, doesn't it? From here, lean away now from the hips slightly. If you need to, hang onto a wall or a chair. We're deepening, lengthening through that hip flexor, through the obliques, all the way down this side of the body and into the front of that hip. Release out of that lean, just overhead again, and pull it back down. We're gonna switch to our other side. We'll get one more chance at those hip flexors. We're gonna try our other side first. So nice deep lunge, pelvis tucked under slightly, front knee bent. Knee stays behind your toes. Hips are square towards the front, or I suppose it's the side, now that we're facing side to side. Just relaxing into this stretch for here, feeling it through the front of that hip. Very nice. Take one arm up, the same arm of the side that we're stretching, just reaching overhead to begin with. And lean it away slightly now. You can feel that stretch deepen into the obliques, through the lats and into the obliques, and down into that hip flexor in the front. Again, holding onto a wall or a chair or a table if you need to. Take this stretch back up overhead. one more time each side. So the first side, nice deep stretch back, big step, tilting that pelvis under slightly. Good, nice deep lunge here to begin. Breathing deeply for those muscles. Hips are square, reach the arm up. And let's get right into it. Let's lean away. Hold on to a wall if you need to. If this is causing pain in any of the other body parts that we're not intending to work, so back pain, any kind of joint pain, back off a little bit. Hold in one of the less intense positions of this one, okay? Go ahead and release overhead and bring it back down. Let's give it a switch to our other side. Last chance, a little deeper if you can this time. Pelvis tucked under, pressing forward with the hips. Keep them square. And let's reach overhead. Getting right into it. Holding on to the wall if you need to, and lean away. Go ahead and release out of that overhead. And let the arm float down. Bring those feet back together. Woo! Nice and stretched out in the hips. All right, feet together. We're gonna clasp the hands behind the back. All right, clasp the hands, and we're now gonna open the front of the upper body. We worked the low body. Now we're gonna do the upper torso. So stretching through the pecs, those chest muscles. Again, as we sit, as we look at our computers, as we write, whatever we're doing in that hunched over position, which is kind of, unfortunately, home base for a lot of us. We gotta work on stretching out those pec muscles. Open things back up, get that posture straightened up. Stretch through those tight muscles. I see my little workout buddy has come back to join me. He was here for strength training briefly. I guess he's not very impressed. All right, from here, go ahead and take those arms all the way overhead now. A big stretch through the sides of the body. Big reach up. Keep those hands clasped. I don't know if you can see my hands. They're clasped. Big stretch overhead, stretching through the lats, through the shoulders, through the obliques. Good, take those hands back down, and we're gonna stretch through the pecs one more time. Clasp the hands behind, stretching open, opening through that chest. All right, go ahead and release that, and clasp and reach overhead. One last time here. After this stretch, we're gonna take it down to our mats, down to the floor, keeping those hands clasped overhead. Big stretch. All right, go ahead, release those arms down. Go ahead and grab your mat. Set that on the floor. I'm going to adjust my camera just slightly so you can see me a tiny bit better. Angle it down just a touch. Oops. All the way down. There we go. That'll do. Okay. All the way down to the floor. Have a seat on the floor. Feet extended out in front. We did a lot of stretching of the front side of the body, so now we're going to do the back side of the body just a bit. Legs extended out straight. I'm going to show you from the side to begin with. Keeping those knees straight, don't let them arch up, as best as you can straight. If that means your range of motion is decreased, it's all right. We're really trying to keep the back of the legs our main focus for the stretch. So gently leaning that body forward fold down as far as you can. We're going to do this one a few times while we're here on the floor because it can take a few attempts to really get your full range of motion. So with this one, make sure you don't have your hands on your knees. Have them on your quads, your shins, or on the floor. Or if you need to, you could wrap a towel or strap around the bottom of your feet and use that to help support you. Wherever your flexibility level is today, that's where we want you. So you should feel the stretch through the back of the legs, perhaps gently into your low back as well, but mainly in the back of those legs. From here, I want you to flex your toes just a little bit towards your nose. You'll feel the stretch deepen in those shins, or in the calves, the calves, the back of that lower leg. You'll feel that stretch right in there. You can pull back with your hands if you need a little extra support or want a little deeper of a stretch. Good. Go ahead and release those toes. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lean down just a little bit further. See where you can get with that exhale. Hold it right there. All right, good. Bring it up to a seated position, nice and tall. I'm going to turn to face you again. All right, pull in one of your knees in towards your chest. Just give it a gentle hug for right now. Warming up, getting ready to stretch that glute much deeper. If you are not feeling super flexible this morning, you stay right here in this stretch. The rest of us, take that foot across your opposite thigh and squeeze that into the chest now. You'll feel the stretch deepen a bit more through the glute and gently into the low back. Hug that knee in as close as you can get it towards your chest to deepen that stretch. Are you feeling more relaxed now? This class always makes me feel so mellow. Sometimes I forget to talk. You're all there with me, just watching. And we're just here relaxing together. All right, from here, we're gonna get into a little bit of a pretzel. Go ahead and open up that knee. Keep that ankle on your quad and bend that leg, that lower leg. You can scoot your bottom closer towards your foot on the floor. Keeping that knee open, we're gonna press the chest towards the legs. You won't be able to get your chest very close. It's very, very small movements that make a big difference on this one. If this bothers your knees, your back, your hips, ankles, you can stay in our previous position. Just keep stretching that glute. This is just a little bit of a different stretch for that glute and into the back of the leg as well. Go ahead, release out of this one for now. Take that bottom back, lower leg out and uncross. Let's work on that other leg. Pull it in towards the chest. Our starting position right here, just getting that leg ready. Glute is going to get stretched out nicely here in a moment. If you want, you can stay right here. Focus on pulling that knee in, sitting up tall, or if you want a deeper stretch in the glute, cross that foot over and then go ahead and hug that in towards your chest, feeling that stretch deepen through the glute and into that low back just slightly. I love this stretch. Keep holding. All right, our pretzel move is coming up. Go ahead and release out. Let that leg open up, kind of into a number 4 if you look at your legs. Ankle on the quad, bend that lower leg, and then lift your bottom, bring it closer to your foot, keeping that knee open, and press your chest very slightly closer toward your legs. Again, not a lot. I'm moving what feels like millimeters here. So it's not a huge change, just a little bit of extra movement can stretch that leg quite a bit in this position. Good, go ahead and release your bottom back a little bit, extend that lower leg and uncross. With your legs out in front, we're going to do that forward fold again, and you may find that you're a little bit more flexible this time. Go ahead and extend that torso down, keeping those knees straight. Don't let those knees bend. That kind of defeats the purpose of this stretch. Keeping those knees straight, hands wherever you need the support, whether it's on your hands or your legs or your feet, just not on your kneecaps. Are you a little bit more flexible this time? A little bit deeper in this stretch. Feeling it gently in the low back and then much more in the backs of the legs. Go ahead and inhale. As you exhale, lower all the way down. Get further into that stretch and hold it right there. Breathing deeply. Good. Go ahead and bring it back up. Sitting up tall, we're going to pull that knee in towards the chest again. Take it across right away if you want, if you can. Hug that in towards the chest. We're going to get that glute one more time. We're not doing our pretzel move. We're just going to do this one. Our 30 minutes is almost gone. Can you believe it? Time flies when you're having fun. Good, just a little bit longer, feeling that stretch all the way through that glute into that low back very gently. Go ahead and release that, uncross. Let's switch to our other. Pull it in first, and then take it across your opposite leg if you're able. Hugging it in towards the chest. Feeling that stretch through the glute, the outside thigh perhaps a little bit, and gently into that low back. Good. Go ahead and release that one. Extend the legs out. Slight bend in your knees now. Reach overhead. Stretching all the way through that upper torso. And let those arms float down. We made it! Thank you all so much for joining me live with some of you, or if you're watching the recorded version later on here or on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed, got some good stretches in, worked on that flexibility a little bit. It's good for us. Until next time, happy Friday Eve. I think that's it. I'll see you next time.